Hi guys, Piotr here. This is Liteforex Global YouTube channel, and big day for Euro is coming very shortly. We are talking about the European Central Bank interest rate decision. Euro, because of what is going on right now with the rapidly growing new coronavirus cases in Europe, is weak overall, right? So the main question is what we are going to get from ECB. Is it possible that ECB is gonna be hawkish? Well, I don't want to bias anyone, but I do think dovish stance and attempt to break lower. So if you do remember, previously we were discussing 117, 1860. 1860 been tested previously. Now the question is the break of 117. If it's going to happen towards the end of the week, end of the month, might bring 115, 114, 50. But if we are going to hold, what next for Euro? Without the further delay, let's jump straight and check a few other charts as well. See you inside.
Okay, euro dollar ahead of the ECB rate decision, and two possible trading setups for myself. First thing first, if you do remember, we were discussing this stuff for quite some time. Main range, attempt to break lower, retest of 50% and rejection. That's the main thing, that's the key thing. So lately we were discussing 1860, 1817, 117, right? Now we are approaching. Yesterday 117 holds with the lower shadow, all right? 117 holds with the lower shadow. Okay, now let's switch lower. I have two trading setups, both short side, right? I'm going to explain why in a second. My first setup is gonna be, we are talking about the intraday setups, is going to be related to this break to the upside, right? In particular, I'm talking about the swing low we've seen here, right? There was some kind of the business finish before the breakdown, and the level never been retested. In that case, we are talking about the levels close to 1770, all right, and 118. That's the number one. 1770, 118, right? But then that's the number one. But then also we might see the spike a little bit higher. The second level, I'm going to look for the rejection, euro rejection, based on this week price action, right? Is the breakdown of that consolidation and retest of the 50% of that consolidation. In that case, you are talking about the levels close to 118.20, 118.40. So overall, what I'm looking for on euro dollar, there are two sell on rallies trading setups for myself, right? You can also do the things related. If you don't like my approach, you can try to set up this type of the range. So my first setup is based on the failure to the upside with the upper shadow, for example, right? And the second one is with doubling the original range, right? So overall, whatever the entry trade school you do prefer, in both cases it works well here on euro dollar. Of course, there is also possibility that we are going to see some kind of the stop count below 17 with the very quick rejection and move back above, but that's completely different story. all right? And I'm not gonna be interested for now to trade euro long side when it comes to the euro dollar, all right? Now why? Because, well, I don't think we are going to get any kind of the hawkish stance from European Central Bank. Point number 2, France lockdown. Number 3, German lockdown, etc., etc., etc. So overall, the current risk of sentiment is based on what is going on in Europe, most likely, in my opinion, than what is going on in US when Republicans and Democrats cannot find the agreement when it comes to the stimulus package. But overall, making the huge circle, right, like this, whatever we already said, I think that overall market is trying to deleverage, trying to get back to reality, all right? So what's my targets? Well, I think that we are going to, in case of the entry, right, I think that that's gonna be the first target, close to 117 or maybe a little bit below, but overall, long discussed, 115, 114.50, that's my target for euro dollar, as long as we are below 1860 for now, ahead of the ECB. I have one more, is a EURJPY when it comes to the short side. Unfortunately, if you do remember, we were discussing possible short entry closer to 123 or maybe a little bit above. Well, we didn't get that high, right? That's what we get already, 122.80, 122.85. So I missed that one. And what I'm looking for right now from intraday perspective. By the way, don't forget that in the description you can find the link where you can monitor all my trades. There are a few different strategies on the one account, but the thing is that yesterday I already closed everything what is related to the risk of ahead of the month end, ahead of the election. So I'm watching only from the intraday perspective for the next few days. Switching lower, well, what I'm looking for from the intraday perspective when it comes to the EURJPY 122.70, I'm looking for an entry with the stop above today's high, above 122.95, and I'm targeting 120. That's one of the setups when it comes to the EURJPY. All right, that's the stop above this level. Okay, but also some of you guys might be euro bullish, right? So in that case, my choice is going to be euro Canadian, right? The oil is breaking lower. We've seen the EURCAD rally yesterday based on what we discussed on the weekly open, right? Anyway, let's place the line when it comes to the weekly open, right? Because it's gonna be important when it comes to today intraday trading strategy. Okay, so what I'm gonna to look for today is a little bit deeper pullback, because what we've seen yesterday, it was strong rally to the upside. We broke a few quite important levels and we stopped around over under, right, over here. That's quite natural, right? So taking into the consideration the latest rallies and the pullbacks, right, some deeper pullback cannot be ruled out. What I'm talking about here is either because of the overall weakness when it comes to the euro post ECB, I think that first it could be 1-to-1, but once we see the risk off is continue, right, the bottom of this breakout candle might hold, in that case 55.80. If we are going to see a little bit deeper pullback, it could be again weekly retest of the weekly open and levels close to 55.60, maybe a little bit below. So that's the overall zone if you are euro bull, to try to take the advantage of the deeper pullback and looking for retest of yesterday high and then higher levels when it comes to the EURCAD. With that being said, guys, don't forget risk of sentiment, don't forget end of the week, end of the month, don't forget US GDP, ECB, and next week US election. Plenty of things. I would lower the exposure. One of the reasons I closed my exposure when it comes to the medium and long term trading. And again, link is in the description. See you around, guys. Good luck. Take care. Goodbye.